now shift gears to an ET Now exclusive, and this is a big one and a special investigation that's been carried out by ET Now, looking into the market volatility over the last couple of months, which has led, among other sectors, the PSU banking stocks. They've come under pressure, been hammered across the board, and that's despite the government's reform agenda. For example, the bank recapitalization, which is quantitative and qualitative in nature. ET Now's investigation reveals the market regulator SEBI has stepped in to get to the root of the problem. It does suspect a bear cartel at work. My colleague Vijay Ganesan Iyer joining us with that exclusive story. He's the one who carried out that investigation. Vijay, help us understand the data here. What exactly is it that the market regulator is suspecting? And if there is indeed a bear cartel at work which has targeted PSU banking stocks, what kind of money are we talking about?
Clearly, you have to look at this story in two aspects. Firstly, if you see the data between, say, October and February 2nd, when primarily the markets were in a bull run, clearly the kind of announcements that government made and the big push that government gave to the PSU bank's balance sheet with the recapitalization of 88,000 crores. Clearly, even after that, if you see the 52-week high, and when now the stocks are clearly, government has lost MCAP to the tune of close to 43,000 crores, and if you add the public holding market capitalization loss, it's close to 67,000 crores, and that's where alarm bells started ringing that is there something that is going wrong in PSU stocks, because fundamentally government was doing everything possible, and there are indications that this drastic fall is now being probed by market regulator SEBI to try and see whether there was a cartel which was trying to hammer PSU stocks. Also, you go by the data and see the average opening day turnover volumes. It is always around, say, 5 to 12 crores, but there are days when it has gone into 3 digits. That is another area which is being looked, perhaps whether F&O is being used by certain cartel to try and hammer the stocks. So clearly this whole aspect is being probed, because government is also really worried the way PSU stocks have tanked and government has lost as a majority promoter the kind of market capitalization. So SEBI indeed is looking at all these aspects and see why clearly, if you go by the fundamentals and the way PSU stocks have been performing on Dalal Street, that is something that is more than meeting the eyes.
Vijay, but has the regulator till now trained its gun on any particular set of investors, market men behind the PSU bank crash, and do we know the period that's under investigation?
Clearly, it will be too early to specifically take names or say, but there are clear indications that it's the domestic institutional investors particularly which are being looked, because you go by the data, clearly FPIs are not being trading that heavily in this whole period, or even if you look at the 52-week high between October and February 2nd, the bull phase of the market, clearly the domestic institutional investors who are buying and selling primarily the PSU stock as a whole. So clearly the DIRs are under the radar, so it will be too early to take any specific names, but clearly the buying and selling and all the trade data, particularly of DIRs, are under the scanner.
Right, Vijay, thanks a lot for joining us with that. Those are the findings of an ET Now investigation into why exactly the public sector bank stock prices have been hammered out of shape despite the government's reform drive like the bank recapitalization.